Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. And today we're going to talk about one of the greatest icons of the 80s, 90s, and today, Mr. T. Why do we love Mr. T? Hell if I know. It's just that he's Mr. T. He's a badass in every regard, and yet he's always about the positive message. He beat Rocky, he beat sharks, and he even beat cancer. And don't get me wrong, today's subject is not awful like Superman at Earth's End or Chuck Austen's X-Men comics. So why is it here? Well, let's dig into Mr. T and the T-Force #1 and find out. Geez, this cover is shiny. And I don't mean in a hollow foil cover sense. I mean there's just so many rays of light on it. This is the first of Mr. T's many superpowers. He blinds his enemy with the light reflected off of his jewelry. And hey, it even comes with a free gold foil trading card. If you can't play any card games with it, what's the point? This is also apparently a collector's item, which means it's worth hundreds of dollars, right? Right? I mean, besides for the $3 I paid for it at my local comic store, it's worth a fortune, yeah? Anyway, there's nothing much else to say except for the fact that Mr. T is holding a gun. I admit this seems grossly out of character for him, but not as much as Superman, since at least Mr. T used guns on the A-Team. We open to a splash page of Mr. T smashing a car hood with his bare hands. It's over, punks. I'm gonna run you and your drugs out of this hood, 'cause Mr. T is in the house. Who's playing Grand Theft Auto now, suckers? I know you thugs are just runners, here to deliver more drugs to the kids. Man, it's gonna be embarrassing if it turns out these were just some college kids on a road trip. But it's over. You're finished. And you better get out, right now, or I'll bust you up real bad. Well, you just smashed up their car, Mr. T. It's gonna be hard for them to leave now. And again, he smashes this car up with his bare hands. Apparently Mr. T has super strength as well. The thugs are less than impressed with Mr. T. He's a joke, a real-life superhero. Well, 2 powers already. I guess Mr. T's going for that Luke Cage Power Man feel to him. Jive talk and everything. Sweet Christmas, fool! Meanwhile, some sort of trenchcoat-wearing individual is walking along and there's a shriek to be heard. Why Mr. T can't hear the shriek is anyone's guess, but we do know that a fateful decision is made. They decided to make the A-Team movie serious? What's up with these fools? Back with the brawl, Mr. T just knocks the thugs around without any difficulty. Not only am I tough, but I'm trained. The trenchcoat-clad individual places a bag inside of a dumpster and walks off, while Mr. T continues to have a very ridiculous fight. I mean, seriously, we've got this guy falling down at Mr. T like this, but the angle of the attack makes it look like that if Mr. T just stepped back, the guy would land on his face. But even more bizarre is how Mr. T just smacks the guy out of the air with enough force to bring him straight to the ground. With the kind of intensity of a hit like that, the guy's skull must have shattered. Don't worry, folks, there's an experimental metal that can save his skull and... oh, wait, he's not a truck driver, is he? Never mind. I'm gonna give back all the pain you've been causing, one punch at a time, and you're next. Dear Lord, Batman's got nothing on Mr. T. Darkwing Duck could only hope to match this level of intensity. I'm the terror that beats your sucker ass in the night. Mr. T confronts the last thug. Come here, brother. We're gonna talk. You and me, now. Talk with my fist through your head, that is. However, someone cattle prods Mr. T from the back and knocks him down. Wasn't ready. Couldn't focus. I ain't getting on no plane. His attacker proclaims, Fool! No. Like this. Fool! The drug runners, who are apparently packing some futuristic-looking weaponry for street punks, exposit that Mr. T has been causing them trouble lately. However, Mr. T's got something up his sleeve. You can talk into this. Mr. T is Sylvester Stallone in John T. Rambo. However, the drug runners are unimpressed and they Art attack! Ah! Take cover! The artwork's coming right at us! We can talk a whole lot louder than you, T. Our decibel level is what makes us so tough! That's 1 gun, and we got 3. Gun? You think this is a gun, sucker? Well, yeah, it looks like a gun. T doesn't carry guns. It's a video cam. Dang it, Mr. T, could you stop shooting your stupid reality show for 2 lousy minutes? And get this, he immediately starts filming them. The drug runners, completely flabbergasted by this turn of events, or maybe just wondering how Mr. T was able to fight so well a second ago with that thing strapped to his belt, just stare at him. Taking the opportunity, Mr. T immediately grabs one of the guns from the drug runner and smacks it in his face. Of course, Mr. T knew that the video camera would shock them so. He's a master strategist!
Theatricality and deception are powerful agents.
Shaken out of their funk, the other criminal tries to shoot Mr. T, but he bends the gun barrel back so it explodes. I know that should technically already count as super strength, but screw it, that takes talent. The lead criminal tries to use his cattle prod again, but this time it doesn't have any effect. Mr. T holds onto the cattle prod and then touches the criminal, channeling the electricity right back into the guy. Okay, that's 2 more right there.
Fool caught me once, 'cause I wasn't looking. Won't happen again.
So, Mr. T is like quantum physics. As long as he's not looking, you can beat him. Mr. T suddenly hears something and drags the criminal along with him. The criminal can't hear anything, but Mr. T leads him to the dumpster from earlier, where a shrieking sound can be heard. And why can he suddenly hear this now when he couldn't hear the criminal with the cattle prod sneaking up on him a minute ago?
I can't believe the treasures that people throw away. I mean, look at this, fool! A half-eaten donut!
He picks up the duffel bag and opens it up, revealing a live baby inside of it. Oh dear, this comic suddenly stopped being funny. The moron of a criminal asks, "Hey, what is it?"
It's a crack baby, fool!
Wait, what?
It's a crack baby, fool!
Did Mr. T just say, "It's a crack baby, fool"? I want to laugh at this, but I'm afraid I'll either get sent to hell or that Mr. T will break my face in. Mr. T lectures the punk about how he sold drugs to some poor girl who thought she had no other choice but to put her baby in the dumpster. Furthermore, he says that the baby was no doubt born with drugs in its system as a result, and that it's his fault. Mr. T, he's a drug dealer. You can't exactly shame him.
Take off your shirt, man. Yeah, that's it. Strip for Mr. T.
Mr. T wraps the crack baby up in the shirt to keep it warm, and then hands the crack baby over to him. Hey, no way, man.
Take it. You're responsible for it now.
What bull? Are you seriously trying to piss off the guy who just took a cattle prod to the face without flinching? Mr. T also slaps a wrist communicator on the punk's arm, telling him that he'll use it to track the kid.
You're probably thinking you're gonna cut out. Hook back up with your gang, huh? Your pals are being arrested, and this videotape is gonna put them away. And if you skip out on me, this other videotape goes to the 5-0, and you do time. And this videotape, if you watch it, you die in 7 days, fool!
What do you expect from me?
Why, brother, I expect you to turn your life around, with a little help from the T-Force.
What was that? Was that a superpower? Did something happen? Screw it, I'm adding it. Mr. T hands the kid one of his necklaces.
And don't you think about hocking it, 'cause I'll find out.
Mr. T sees you in your sleep.
Mr. T sees you in your nightmares.
He then tells the kid to drop off the baby at a nearby clinic and that while he's there, he's going to get a job and that he's going back to school. When the kid refuses, Mr. T waves the videotape around.
You cross me, boy, and you'll end up in juvie hall like a shot.
So, what, there's lots of whiskey in juvie hall? The kid quickly proceeds to the clinic with every intention of simply leaving the baby there and going off on his own, but when a nurse looks down at the baby, she instantly goes nuts. You scum! You get your girls hooked on junk, totally mess up, then do this to them! I can't believe you! You leave it to others to fix your mistakes! I quit! Don't mind her, she's just having a bad day because she realized her arm can stretch to ridiculous lengths. Mr. T appears on the wrist communicator for a progress report and the kid explains about the woman suddenly quitting. However, 2 other kids are already there and stop the woman, talking about how the babies need her. The punk notices that the other 2 kids are also in possession of communicators like his. So, Mr. T's goal in life is to find drug dealers, recruit them to a single clinic, and periodically appear on their communicators to make sure that no one quits their job and ensure that no one is entitled to a private life outside of his little schemes.
Don't like jerks sneaking in on my privacy. Understand?
Back to the comic at hand, the punk tells Mr. T that the woman has decided to stay and that he needs to go help her clean the baby. Mr. T himself is apparently jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
Mr. T, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound.
He's apparently getting a feeling, I'd call it his T-sense, but it's never explained anywhere, so I'm not counting it as a superpower. And he tracks it to a single roof, crashing down into it. And our comic ends with him arriving in a warehouse where he finds Apache Chief from the Super Friends cartoon who's sporting Rob Liefeld-inspired guns.
Guess I should have traded this video cam for a grenade launcher.
Dude, you once swung an alligator over your head. I give this guy 2 minutes tops before you knock him down. This comic sucks. Half of it is a single fight scene, and the other half just doesn't make any sense. Sure, there's the novelty factor of Mr. T going around filming himself beating up criminals, but is that really what you want out of a comic?
Cut out the jibber jabber, then shut your dang pie hole.
Okay, don't hurt me, Mr. T!
So everything turned out okay after all. The fake monks are in prison breaking rocks, and my team is back on the road. But listen up now, this is serious. When you're tempted to do something wrong, even if the reasons are good, think twice, because you never know how things will turn out. You might be getting yourself and everybody else into a whole lot of trouble. Do what's right, and you can't go wrong. Take it from me, Mr. T.